rub it in.
Councilman Keith, can you let Councilman Ferrari his microphone?
We'll now start the meeting.
Frank Ferrari.
Here.
Marshall Goff. Lily Junkins.
Here.
Gary Keith.
Here.
Jim Malfajo.
Here.
Vice Mayor Marino. Mayor Kennedy.
Here.
This evening we have our prayer and pledge by Councilmember Malfajo.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of the community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions, and continue to remind us that all that we do here this evening and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of your name, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session of November 19th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Without objection, motion's agreed to.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session of February 18th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Without objection, minutes are approved.
Approval of the minutes of the conference work session held on February 24th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Without objection, the minutes are approved.
Petitions, communications, and public hearings. Martin Schaefer of 211 North 6th Street wishes to address council to follow up on the last meeting.
Thank you for giving me time to meet with you. Last month, when I met with you, I told you about some of my frustrations. I brought up the stress that has been under because of the problems with the city. Since that time, we've begun a dialogue. I want to thank the city manager and the council members who assisted in that. Many years ago, I was awarded the highest honor the National League of Cities gave for the attainment of education in the fields of city government. I was the first person in West Virginia to receive that award. Part of the award was that I agreed to avail myself to mentor my fellow council members. I've advised some of your predecessors, but I have failed this council. Last meeting, I mentioned genetics, so maybe it would benefit all of you to realize how different every person is. Our genetics determine if we have blue eyes, if we're diabetics, if we have anxiety, rage, or depression. In some people, rage can be an asset. I think that may be why some of my ancestors were kings of Ireland, Wales, and even the Holy Roman Emperor Francis I. Some of us are gifted with a gene that makes us stronger and faster. Councilwoman Jenkins mentioned in her prayer last month about mental illness. Part of the problems in this country is that there's a stigma about what we call mental illness. So I want to broaden your knowledge about what we call mental illness. You have heard about mothers killing their children. You may have heard that these women suffered postpartum depression. What you may not know is that this condition is more prevalent in the United States than in some other countries. Why is that? In 1986, I had a talk with a doctor about symptoms of postpartum depression. I felt there were things observed, but the doctor did not know. I was in Tucson, Arizona for a couple weeks, and for a week I went to the University of Arizona library and read every medical report in the world about postpartum depression. You see, I have this character trait that I love to study things that interest me. I want to give you a challenge. Ask any doctor if there's a way to predict if a mother is going to have postpartum depression. I have known this tidbit about our genetics since 1986, 35 years. Yes, there is a test. It is a test of the enzymes in breast milk. Simple solution is to put the mother on drugs or dry up her breast milk. Many other countries in the world test for this at birth. In 35 years, I've not found an American doctor who knows this. Another tidbit that may benefit you is that people who have type O blood are more susceptible to COVID-19. At least that is one of the things they're studying to find out why. This really points out a problem we have in this country, in this community. We do not learn from others who have found a better way of doing things. I'm going to endeavor to discuss things that will make Clarksburg better for all of us in the coming weeks. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer.
I have a statement from Ryan DeBar, who's with us virtually. He asked that I read this. December marked my 10th year as a resident of the city of Clarksburg. During this time, I have watched us spend millions on a pool that is only usable 3 or 4 months a year. We have spent $25 million on a theater that has only held a few large events a year. But when it comes to spending $75,000 to put a new roof on a building that can be used year-round, we balk at the cost. I pay more than an average share of taxes in Clarksburg, but have never used the pool nor the former Morgan School gymnasium one time. If I could choose, I would choose that my taxes go toward 10 small indoor recreation centers that every poor child can walk to before I would pay for one big ticket item that is used only occasionally and mostly by well-off people who don't even live in town.
Thank you.
City Manager's report and update.
From the manager's office, code enforcement and public works will begin utilizing our new GeoPlan data management software program. Waste management has met with the city for their pollinator garden project. The site for this project will be the grass lot on the corner of West Pike and South 3rd Avenue. They will provide raised planters for flowers. Budget proposals from council are being worked into next year's budget, and a public hearing will be conducted at the next council meeting along with a consideration for adoption. From the police department, the department responded to 2,351 calls for service in February that led to 10 felony arrests, 117 misdemeanor arrests, 215 criminal reports, and 34 traffic accidents. The 2 newest officers will start the West Virginia State Police Academy on March 22nd, 2021. And testing for new police officers will be held on April 17th and April 24th at the Robert C. Byrd High School, starting at 9 a.m. Additional information is on our website. From the fire department, the department recently responded to 2 structure fires on Bailey Street and Sycamore Street. For the month of February, the department responded to 222 calls for service, 168 were medical calls. The training division is working to arrange confined space training for all employees of the Public Works Department. From the finance department, work continues on the fiscal year 2021-2022 budget, and ordinances are currently being reviewed to provide an incentive for food trucks to operate in Clarksburg. For city parks, Mr. Venn was awarded the contract for the operation of the vending machines. The governor has recently raised the capacity to 50% for the amphitheater, and they continue to monitor the governor's guidelines in preparation for the pool opening this summer. Interviews for summer help will begin next week. Mr. Cooper met with Ben Walker of the Harrison County YMCA to discuss opportunities to partner on programs. From the Robinson Grant Performing Arts Center, the Ghost Light Series, High School Edition, will feature our local high school students and will be broadcasted on Facebook or our YouTube channel every Friday in March at 7 o'clock p.m. The center will host the Luck of Giving United Give-a-thon on Wednesday, March 17th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is a Facebook Live fundraising event for the United Way of Harrison County. Also, 4 private events are scheduled for March. If you would like to have an event at the Robinson Grant, please visit their website. For code enforcement, the department issued 36 building permits for a total project cost of $2.27 million. 38 notice of violations were issued, along with 11 citations written. 12 residential and 5 commercial inspections were performed, and animal control responded to 41 calls for service, resulting in 5 animals taken to HCAC. Engineering is working on a slip on Winding Way that occurred over this past weekend. For Public Works, the department has cleaned up over 20,000 pounds of debris, and over 65 tires were collected from 47 condemned structures this past week. Crews will be working on creating an opening between the city manager's office and code enforcement to allow for expansion and better communication between the city manager and code, along with expanding the office space for the economic developer and fire marshal. The department is planning the spring cleanup. Details will come at the end of this month. The department is also working on various projects for the Clarksburg Beautification Committee throughout downtown. The department boarded 16 structures. Pothole patching is taking place. To report a pothole, please utilize our report a concern link on our website. And crews also demolished the structure at 504.5 Monticello Avenue. For the wastewater treatment plant, the plant treated approximately 315 million gallons of wastewater for the month of February with no violations to report, along with receiving 125,150 gallons of septic sewage for a revenue of $8,013. Plant Superintendent Paul LaHazet will retire at the end of July after serving the city since 1989. Thank you, Paul, for your 32 years of dedicated service. Interviews will be conducted tomorrow for our new superintendent. And that is the end of my report.
Unfinished business, consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg to amend Article 1505 of the Codified Ordinances to modify civil service status of fire marshal and assistant fire marshals. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared in the Expedited Telegram on February 23 and March 2.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone who will speak for or against this ordinance may do so at this time. We will now close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of second and final reading and public hearing of an ordinance designating authority to city manager to sell personal property. Notices appeared as previously stated.
We will now open the public hearing. Anyone who will speak for or against may do so at this time. We will now close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
New business, consideration for adoption of a second supplemental resolution of the city which would authorize the purchase of a municipal bond insurance policy and municipal bond debt service reserve insurance policy for the city's water refunding revenue bond, Series 2021A, tax exempt.
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Offer this resolution.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award of bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 1 Levy Court, 3 Levy Court, 4 Levy Court, 404 Delaware Avenue, 615 North First Street, and 619 Monticello Avenue, Contract 1, utilizing the TIF funds.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council award the bid for asbestos demolition under Contract 1 to Circa Consulting in the amount of $40,300.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award of bid for asbestos abatement of structures located at 420 Hart Street, 526 South Linden Avenue, 1307 North 25th Street, 1403 Farland Avenue, 1519 North 14th Street, 1728 North 22nd Street, and 1732 Junkins Avenue, Contract 2.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council award Contract 2 for asbestos abatement under Contract 2 to Feline Excavating in the amount of $34,349.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award of bid for asbestos abatement of structures located at 222 Harrison Street, 336 Wilson Street, 361 Wilson Street, 406 Capitol Avenue, 412 Heyman Highway, 413 E.B. Saunders Way, and 539 South 3rd Street, Contract 3.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council awards Contract 3 for asbestos abatement to Circa Consulting in the amount of $53,000.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration award a bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 107 Ashcraft Court, 336 Monticello Avenue, 534 South 5th Street, 749 Locust Avenue, and 1401 Hamel Avenue, Contract 4, also utilizing TIF funds.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council award the bid for contract number 4 for asbestos abatement and demolition to Empire Builders in the amount of $42,600.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award a bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 112 Gandy Street, 302 to 306 Cove Court, 383 and a half Broadus Avenue, 605 Duff Avenue, 1719 Gould Avenue, 831 Milford Street, and 125 Grove Court, Contract 5, also utilizing TIF funds.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council award contract number 5 for asbestos abatement and demolition to Empire Builders in the amount of $78,200.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration award a bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 515 South 5th Street, 526 South 7th Street, 640 South 7th Street, 349 Wilson Street, 504 E.B. Saunders Way, and 212 Lynn Street, Contract 6.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council award bid for, under contract 6 for asbestos abatement and demolition to Empire Builders in the amount of $54,500.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award a bid for the demolition of the structures located at 132, 134 School Street, Contract 7, utilizing TIF funds.
Mr. Mayor, I move this council award bid for demolition under contract number 7 to Empire Builders in the amount of $22,350.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of award a bid for the asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 344 to 348 West Main Street, Contract 8, utilizing TIF funds.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this council award asbestos abatement and demolition under contract 8 to Reclaim Company in the amount of $168,000.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Council comments.
Councilman Malfajo?
Yeah, I'd just like for everyone to keep Councilman Marino in their thoughts and prayers, and have a nice weekend, folks. Spring's coming.
Councilman Ferrari?
The only thing I have is I like to commend the city manager and public works director and engineer Mr. Brown for this work on all this demolition, because I know it's quite involved to get all these specs together and get all the information. And again, I think this council is very committed to this, and I think that to take this many houses down, or too soon to be taken, this is great for the city, and I want to thank them for a job well done.
Councilman Keith?
I want to quickly thank the city manager and Public Works for the cleanup effort last week. That was a huge, huge undertaking. Kind of got started off some Facebook posts, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and then I probably added to the work by going out and picking up trash with CCA last Saturday, and I kept sending more and more emails. So it kind of was an effort where we put a lot of pressure on Public Works and the city manager, and man, delivery, when you ask for something and it happens like that, that's awesome. So great job on that, Harry, and great job to Public Works. I mean, if everybody could see the amount of work they did on these properties, it was really pretty unbelievable. Also, just quickly, I asked online this week for people to start sending me, properties that need cleaned up, and we always focus on these vacant properties, and they're really not the only problem. I really want to encourage people to take advantage of this spring cleanup that's coming up. Code enforcement is going to be writing a lot more tickets, and we're going to get a lot more aggressive. So please, please take advantage of this spring cleanup that's coming up. I mean, this is your opportunity to get rid of stuff. So, don't pass it up. I would hate to see everybody get tickets and say they didn't have a chance, because here's your chance right now to get rid of what you need to get rid of. That's really all I have tonight. Thank you.
Councilwoman Junkins?
Just thanks for coming out, and have a good weekend.
To wrap things up, I also want to express my prayers for the quick recovery of our Vice Mayor, Jimmy Marino. Also, I want to commend our city manager and code enforcement on the aggressiveness of the demo that we've been doing over the last several months. Something that I think was mentioned in the 5:30 meeting that wasn't mentioned here is that once these properties are demoed, the ones we just voted to demo tonight, the list will be empty. There will be no more properties on the demo list. Now, it doesn't mean that other properties won't hit the demo list later, but we'll finally caught up with the backlog that we've been left for many years. So I'm very excited and proud of this council and of our city manager and our code enforcement department in getting that done. And also, just to echo about the cleanup of properties that Councilman Keith talked about a moment ago, I saw the city put out the number that we cleaned up over 20,000 tons of debris during that 1-week cleanup. So I really want to take my hat off to our city manager, Public Works, for a job well done there. And let's keep it up. Let's keep cleaning, and let's make Clarksburg shine again. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.